How do you translate pach?
Pach? Cooking.
No. It's bringing the softening to the tandula. Tandula pachati udana. Udana is cooked rice. Tandula is not cooked rice. Anyway, get into that, it will be forever. So,
how do you get to that, bringing the softening?
See, you are doing that. That is the result of your performance of the action. Remember Bhartihari, he says, and also in Kauntabhatta, action. How do you define Kriya?
How do you do
Kriya, when you are cooking, you are just doing one thing. When you are performing an action to accomplish the Vikristi brought to the Tandula, then there is a multiple. Yes. That is why you will see in 317, Kriya Samavihare. Kriya Samavihare is a repeated action. So that repeated action could be a repeated action with internal repeated action. When you bring the Vikristi to the Tandula, you have a stove, you put the wood, you bring the pot, you pour the jala, right? And then you put the Tandula, and then at a certain time it's boiling, and then you are stirring, and all these actions are included in the Vikristi.
No, that is denoted by Kriya Samavihara.
Yeah. No, Kriya Samavihara is one set of action performed repeatedly.
Whole set of
Yeah, right.
action. Okay.
See, we have to be killed by Pāṇini. Pāṇini now. So anyway, then you go to the selection of thing. See the references? La Parasmai Padam. A thing selection. I always use the word selection of thing. Selection of soap. And that's how. So what is the trigger? The trigger is each term he uses in the process of application of a rule further down. Those terms are purposely. So, how do you derive Pachati or any such thing? There are only two types of derivations. When pratyaya is introduced, how do you know all these details about the parasmai padam, etc., and all these terms? They are always from the first adhyaya. That's why I call the first adhyaya as the brain of the Ashtadhyayi. I have coined the term in that first volume, controlling domain. Okay? And this is the domain of ethics. So from the controlling domain, assign the term, what do I have? The computer will ask. Okay? You have a dhatu or a pratipadika. That's it. So assign the term, that will send you to dhatu. In dhatu, that is where there is going to be possibility of rule application depending on what you intend to do. The words which appear in your usage, those words first go on your mind. That's why there is a beautiful term used, Buddhyarudha Shabda. The word has to climb on your brain first, and then comes to speech. So, long story short, if there are no definitions, and if there are no interpreting conventions like Tasmini Sindhishte Purvasya tasya, etc., etc. Forget about doing anything with the yesterday. But you have to show where and how. How would I know when I am at Tilda Jisita Savivasma 3477? How do I get the reference to that? What is the trigger? I can't trigger. The trigger is thing. The trigger is love. All the definitional terms and all the abbreviation terms, they serve as triggers for bringing help from elsewhere, from the controlling domain. What do I have here? So, if you go those bracketing, like what's the tip you have, right? You have thin. Go through the list. How many you have used in the derivation of Pāṇini? You have lat, you have dhatu, you have lat, right? You have la, you have sakarmaka, you have kartri, right? Then you go la, lasya, then you go 27th thing, the question. How do you derive it? Okay? Or you have to go to 1499 la parasmai padam, so there is parasmai padam. Then Tingasri Prasama Devotana, there is thing. Then Ekvachan Bhavachan and Ekvachan Devachan and Bhavacana, and then Prasama Devotana. That's how you get the whole list. That's how you say it. If you want to express the country, then you say Sarvadhatu is Sarvadhatu. Thing is the Sarvadhatuka, I think it's Sarvadhatuka. So what does Sarvadhatuka do? These are 3, 4, 77. If after the selection of the thing you go to 3, 4, 1, 13, things should Sarvadhatuka. So let's assign the term Sarvadhatuka to an affix. Remember, we are in the domain of pratyaya. So in the domain of pratyaya, so if we have a Sarvadhatuka after a verb introduced with the denotation of kartari, the kartari Sarvadhatu sham. Sham. So you introduce sham. So remember, la karma cha bhave cha karma ke there you have to decide that kartari has to be expressed. That will help you select it. And then you go to kartari sham, you have it. So pach T. Then there is another definition. What to do next? Okay? You have to exhaust the possibility of all applications related to the terms and the names assigned thus far. Then you go, now where else I can go now? Even patches or or you go to the controlling domain. There is a rule that says, and the most difficult rule of the Aswadhyaya to translate, beware. Don't go to Vasi. 1413. Yasmat pratyaya vidhis tadadi pratyaya angam. That after which an operation related to an affix is undertaken. Yasmat. Dhatu are pratipadika. Okay? And a fixed operation has been introduced. That, beginning with that after which an affix has been introduced up to the end when that affix is following. The rest is called anga. So given part if About what can be assigned the term anga? What is an anga? Because you have exhausted the operation and that you know you are not. Because you have to still go to the end and select the thing, etc., and cluster each other. So now you have pacha defined as anga only when thing is following, not when thing is deleted or anything. So that's the definition. Then you go about the accent, etc., etc., if there are any deletions or additions to the augmentation, deletion, accent. These are the three operations which are carried out with doubling in the sixth adhyaya, seventh and eighth, and that forbid you are not to start with what Pāṇini does when he presents his rules. So, the lesson that you learn here is definitions and terms. You cannot derive anything in Pāṇini without these. Now, has anyone showed to us that this is the, in the first adhyaya, when you hit Vritti, so I have read in the best Hindi commentary on the Ashtadhyayi, Auroville, in hymns and Shastras. That's the best. Although there is one, the son of my father's colleague, when my father was the head of the department, there was a South Indian scholar, Neela Meghacharya. His son, he became a leader in the BJP. Now he is not a leader. He has written a commentary on the Lalita.
But Bhimsen is the best.
Bhimsen is the best. You should get that Bhimsen if you understand. But you should get my I'm getting an abridged edition. I have it. Whatever you are ready, you can prepare that. So, long story short, you cannot do anything. And remember the Bhashya says, what does the Vyakarana do? Lakshya Lakshana Vyakaranam. So whatever the Vyakarana does with the Lakshya cannot be done unless, in other words, explaining or analyzing the correct words of the Sanskrit language cannot be done unless you know what is the function of the Sangya. The Panchita, Bhimsen Shastri says that, everyone says that. वृद्धिराजय से जाकर कहता है कि ये मैं वृद्धिराजय मैं क्या हूँ? Is that the function of a technical term? You shouldn't believe that, especially after what I have done. 1 hour I explained to you. This is the way you generalize the derivational process. No one does that. The tradition doesn't do that. They give us in bits and pieces. Pratipada Patha, Nantam Jagama, he was that way. So with all due respect to Bhattuji and company and all these converts of the Prakriya, I differ. And that means you can understand Pāṇini from the horse's mouth better than from any other mouth. And if there is a mouth, you have to go to Patanjali. Okay? So, this is what else I have to tell you. We'll be getting to these things when we go to the third adhyaya, the workshop. I'll tell you more things about how to handle those things. So, that's where I am. You ask me questions.
So why did you start from Dupachash? You started with Pach Dhatu as Pach has been formed and then we still it would have been much more systematic. You started with Dupachash and dropped Do in this. Sure.
No, there is a general process.
That's a general process, yeah. At least once it must be talked about. Once.
See, for that, like I have the term soup selection, king selection, that's how I also have it deletion. In the deletion, the moment you take Pach to Pachas, so Anudatta myth is, what is that? Swaritalita country
Yeah.
will apply. And then in the, you go to Halantyam.
Halantyam and Adranidudava.
This is the nasalized vowel in Upadesha. What is Upadesha?
Adhyocharana.
Adhyocharana. What do you understand with Adhyocharana?
Pāṇini. But the other one is...
No, but give me an example. Just tell me, this is Upadesha.
Dharpada, sir.
Patha or anything. See, whenever a thing is introduced to you the first time in the literature, that is Upadesha. So, Pach comes in the form of Dupachas, that is Upadesha. And Anunasika is Upadesha, as Anunasika is, so that is the end. So, 131, no, 131, Anantyam, Upadesha, Anunasika, etc. etc. Yeah, Tasya Lopaha, that which has been assigned the term deleted. But nobody gives an answer. When? Shall I wait till the end to apply deletion on Dupatas, or shall I just do it right away? Nobody tells us. And I am still struggling to answer that. There are some questions still in my mind. I know myself where I cut corners. So, Dupachas. So, in Sangya, similarly thing selection, similarly soup selection, is deletion. You can do away with it.
Yeah, because at least one or two verb stems and non-verb stems in your work with all those general processes which go every year. After that we can definitely when you really do the derivations, it's exactly there.
So you think the tradition doesn't know that, what I am telling you, that you cannot do without? No, the tradition has it, the Bhashya says it. The origin of my research on these things was just one sentence. When I went to my father and I said that I moved the 5 volumes, my father said, why? I was very disappointed. Why? Well, I was looking for a project because I was an assistant professor. I was very ambitious. I wanted to become a scholar, publish a lot so that I could be an associate professor, a full professor, etc., etc. So I was looking for a topic. I got interested in Pāṇini. I found out that this guy is very modern. So my guy can talk to the computer. Your guy cannot, because we have not shown how. Patanjali saw how. And that is why that statement, under 3168, he said, Na videshastamiti kritato nana vakyam bhavati. Simply because two rules are placed elsewhere in the grammar, at different places in the grammar, it doesn't mean they are separate rules. Videshastamiti sad ek vakyam bhavati. There is a single sentence-ness relationship between them, even though they are placed
far apart.
No, but the story is not done yet. The Bhashya just says that also. You know, if you go to Paribhasha to Shekhar, there
Exactly, I was about to ask, sir. We are talking about all the Paribhashas in Pāṇini.
No, show me all the traditionalists, not me, because I know the answer my way. You tell me, what is this Karikala Sangya Paribhasham and Yathodesha Sangya Paribhasham? What is that? Simply it means that Sangya and Paribhasha are used for understanding a rule. They can be understood either at the place where they are given or at the place where they perform the action. And they say Panditas, they have been doing the word for Shirsasana. They are standing on their head 2 centuries saying that, oh yeah, you can interpret it by Yathodesha and you can interpret it by Karikala. No sir, there is no such thing as Yathodesha interpretation. Similarly, the myth that Pāṇini doesn't derive a sentence, Pāṇini derives only a pada. Then you are myths. Don't believe it. If Pāṇini derives just a pada, take a pada, Rama Odanam Pachati. Give me the derivation of Odanam. You will say Odam, Odana and right? So is a vibhakti, a sup, which is introduced by 312 Karmani Dvitiya. So when the denotation of Karman is made, you introduce Dvitiya after a Pratipadika. So Rama is a Pratipadika. You are expressing the Odana with the Dvitiya. So you can use Karma and Dvitiya. No. There is this animal sitting right on top of everything, and that is Anadhihite. When not already expressed, then you use Dvitiya. That means, what did you do when you selected T? Under La Karmanicha Bhavicha Karmakebhyaha. So there is a direct connection between Anabhihite and La Karmanicha Bhavicha Karmakebhyaha. What is the paper that I have that paper here. There is a paper where I talk about, there is a chart that shows the interrelationships and the dependency relationships of.
So what you say is the position of Paribhasha Vishekara in Rama?
In the Paribhasha Vishekara, you have 2 paribhashas, first and second, Yathodesha Samjya Paribhasham, Karikala Samjya Paribhasham. These 2
Which paper?
Which paper is it?
Like you made a statement that we can do without Vartikas.
What?
We can do away with Vartikas. That is purely from Ashtadhyaya. So similarly, I would like to ask, there are some paribhashas which are direct.
I think let me finish this thing because this is very important and nobody talks about this. Nobody understands exactly and nobody explains to me how Yathodesha and Karikala apply. And Patanjali's statement that simply because 2 rules are placed elsewhere in grammar doesn't mean they are separate rules. Even though they are placed at separate places in the grammar, they share a single sentence relationship. What is this sentence relationship? Ekavakyata. So now, a question for you. Can somebody explain to me what ekavakyata is?
They must be considered together.
What?
Both the Sanya and then its application.
What is the mechanism Pāṇini has for that?
Huh?
What is the mechanism of
Pāṇini saying this.
Patanjali says?
Yeah. That is why Patanjali is required.
So we have to find out.
So, because Pāṇini has not explicitly said it, so Patanjali has said it.
Yeah, Pāṇini was a believer in Ardhamatra Laghav.
So, leaving too much to imagination of the student is also not very.
Imagination will inform the student. Imagination.
So, but the student becomes a very informed student starting from nothing.
See, imagination, I am able to answer all these questions and raise these questions because I am living in an age where computer is the king. You can't do away with the computer, sir. And this idiot box is not a student that is a sit down. This idiot is going to throw questions at you at every step and you must answer if you want to make use of it. So you have to explain what is the function of Yatodesha Karikala. There are all kinds of other terms which have been used in connection. Lakshana, I told you, Lakshana Vyakaranam. Then there are some well informed who say, who are dubbed as Lakshana Chakshushka. Those are set just on the rules, they don't care about the Lakshana. But then there are those who care about Lakshana, they are called Lakshaika Chakshushka. But still, what is Ekvaktita? Ekvaktita deals with interpretation. So that brings us to the question, how do you interpret the Pāṇinian rules? It's $1 million question which must be answered. You have a rule, now you understand how to go about interpreting that Pāṇinian